Importance of mental health and self-care. So when we think mental health, what do we think? First thing that comes to mind when you hear mental health? So the first thing is always a negative connotation. We never think wellness when we hear mental health. We always think negativity. We think illness. We think madhouse. We think symptoms. We think meds. Right? So because of the negative stigma attached to mental health, we never get past that to develop our mental health and the positivity that comes with having a good mental health, right? So mental health has to do with your psychological well-being. It has to do with your social well-being. It has to do with your emotional well-being. These are all facets of our mental health that on a daily, as humans, as adults, as children, we don't nurture it. We don't encourage the development of a strong mental health, right? So when we hear psychological mental health, what comes to mind? Therapy. Right, therapy. Psychological mental health has to do with the way we think, the way we perceive situations, the way we treat with it, the way we react, the way we look at different aspects of a situation. Emotional mental health, what do we think? Anger, sadness, happiness. A lot of times we don't tap into our positive emotions. When you come home from work, a lot of the times, oh God, I'm tired. Yeah. Today was stressful. We don't look at these small blessings that we have in a day. I made it home safely today. I have love. I have my family. I have my health. I have my mental health, because mental health is something that we take for granted. Simple things, being able to communicate, have a proper conversation, build healthy bonds with your family, with your co-worker. These are things that we take for granted, but for some people it's something that they hold dearly because they struggle with it on a daily basis. So to social, this is where I tie in the little 2-minute thing that we did just now. Social health is something also that we neglect. Social health. If we tie in the family network as well, the point of the network is to build bonds, to build a network where you can feel comfortable. We have this common ground where we are sharing the same situations with our children. We are trying to advocate for them. We are trying to get the better education, jobs, equality for them. All of that ties into our ability to communicate and relate to somebody else. If we aren't able to relate, reach out, bond, we neglect our social aspect of ourselves, and then we isolate. Without having a proper support system, your mental health deteriorates. It deteriorates faster than you may think, because mental health is not something you're going to feel immediately. Like if you wake up this morning, my head hurts, my stomach hurts, I don't feel well today. Mental health is not something that I can determine today I'm going to be okay or tomorrow I'm not. This is something that we have to be aware of. We can only be aware of our mental health if we are aware of ourselves, right? So one of the things I always tell my clients, if you are empty, you cannot try to fill somebody up. Most times on a daily we go to work, we build our co-workers up. They may come to us with problems. We build our family up. We build our children up. Most times we are giving and giving of ourselves, but we are not replenishing our own selves. And that is also the problem. If we relate this to persons with disabilities, most times we think that they don't develop the same way that we do. But as stated earlier, they develop, they are going to feel emotions, they are going to think things that they may not be able to express. And in mental health, they do have the facility to do so. Those who may not be verbal, we have play therapy, we have art therapy, and these are things that in exposing your children to, they will be now able to have a good mental health, which is ties into our team, which is exactly. So the more that we look at this aspect, the aspect that we neglect all the time, we are developing our children not only to have a good educational background, but to be sure of themselves, to be confident, to be aware of their emotions. Most times, especially on the male aspect, we are told that you're not to show emotions. And on the female aspect, we are told that females are too emotional, right? So there is a balance where we need to be able to express ourselves and treat with our mental health without it being a negative thing. How do we do this? Ideas, suggestions? How do you think we can foster positive mental health or a positive stigma for mental health, positive view?
I would say firstly that you need to be aware of what your limitations and boundaries are. You have to know what are your hards and your soft, where you stand. I would also say you also have to recognize that you are not like roti and doubles, you can't please everybody. So you have to learn to start accepting yourself, where you are in life, where your situation is, the good and the bad.
And the ugly.
The ugly. I would also say that you need to get to a place where people's opinions of you does not sway your opinion of yourself, which is probably one of the hardest points to get to. People grow up differently, and everybody's mindset, mentality, goals, aims, challenges are not the same, and that you and your situation is not comparable to anyone else's. You are unique and an individual, and you treat your situation and your case as such. You can gain support from other people's situation, but what you feel is how you feel. Right. Learn to validate your feelings, and that's just the base step.
Okay. To build on that, I always say, do not let anybody take away what you feel from you. They may not understand it, and most times in the lack of understanding, they try to downplay it. So you are telling them a stressful situation you may have at work, but my day was worse than that. I went through ABC, XYZ, but that does not negate that I also went through ABC, XYZ. So in building your mental health, you have to be aware of your boundaries. You have to know what is toxic for you. You have to protect you. If you don't protect yourself, no one else is going to do it for you. Just like if you don't protect your child, if we don't stand up, if we don't push, if we don't push for inclusion, if we don't try to give them equal opportunities, nobody else is going to do it for us. We have to stand up and we have to do the fight together, build a community, a network. Network is very important for your mental health, especially persons or parents who may have children with disabilities. It's difficult. What's your name again? Excuse me? Yeah. Latoya. She mentioned the stigma in the community, having the negative names being called about your child. That is something difficult. It is something I relate to because I had a brother who was special and I was not having it. I'm real sorry. Like, I stood up for him. If we don't do it, nobody else is going to do it for us. It is difficult. It is something that we are trying to combat. But all of that in having networks and being able to express yourself and being able to have that environment where you can be open and free. So I hope in everybody coming to functions like these that you have a place that you could be comfortable, that you could lay your emotions out, because that is something also that a place where you can feel free, where you don't have to pretend that things may not exist, that things may not be bothering you, is also important to your mental health. And also in dealing with your mental health, we have something called self-care. Self-care. When we hear self-care, what do you think? Right, me time. Me time is something that we neglect on a daily. We're too busy. We have to work. We have to show for the children here and there. But in every day that we neglect ourselves, we are now depleting our ability to deal with our everyday situations. The more that we deplete our own self, the less likely we are able to treat with situations reasonably. How many of us here can actively say we try to participate in self-care? I'm very happy to see so many hands. So can I get some examples of what we do or what you do as part of your self-care routine? Exercise. Okay. Anybody else? Music. Okay. Praying every day. Holidays. Going on holidays. Agreed. Going to church. We have reading up in here as well in the front. One of the biggest things I tell my clients, you have to know when you need to tap a button. I need to take care of myself. I know, especially as parents, a lot of parents feel guilty when I need some time away. I need to take a day and go and be by myself. Parents feel guilty for that. But that is part of you being the best you can be for yourself and also for your child, for your spouse, for your co-workers, for you to be able to do your job. If you do not take care of self, you cannot take care of anything else that comes after self. And as self is one of the most important relationships that you need to foster. If you don't treat with self, I can't treat with anything else. I may overreact, I may underreact, I may allow people to step over me, I may not treat with my children as quickly as I can, I may neglect my husband, I may neglect my wife. Yeah, so self-care is something as well that you need to tap into. One thing I want to challenge you all, even if it may not be weekly, at least once a month, make a list. I tell my clients, you make a list of what you want to do with yourself, how you want to develop yourself, what you may want to achieve within the next 3-month period for yourself. Because a lot of time we give and we give and we give and we give and we don't replenish. And replenishing ourselves is one of the most important aspects of your mental health. Yeah? So, one more thing before I leave, I'm going to be quick. An analogy that I use that I get people to remember all the time, when you think of 2 glasses, one filled and one empty, if you empty yourself as the full glass into the empty glass, you are now empty. Who's going to fill you? If you are now placed into another glass, that glass may not want to refill the water, so you're going to have to find a way to get that water back in there. Yeah, so if it's one thing, take away, please, everybody, make that list. Mental health, self-care, give people the opportunity, give yourself the opportunity to express yourself, give your child the opportunity to express themselves. Thank you. Any questions?
As ladies and trying to look good. I mean, we have other people out there who will say like to us, if you cannot play, you know, like just trying to look like everybody else, and they will see and women and different women also. And then they will say, if you cannot play, you know, you should come to that meal. You don't have people like that. So
okay.
How to deal with that? And let's go to that every day in my life. We're trying to be somebody.
Everybody.
And they come to me and say, we try to be, you know, so I get up every day in my life.
Okay. You have to protect you. Everybody around you is not going to like the choices you make. Sometimes you're going to have to decide, if you are not allowing me to build myself, if you cannot respect and understanding ways I choose to build myself in order to be good for me to build my child, my family, my job, my whatever it may be. Maybe you need to think about space, letting go. At the end of the day, you can't let anybody make you feel bad about feeling okay about yourself. So don't let them take away your ability to take care of yourself, your ability to have that me time, to have that differentiation. We all deserve it. We all get stressed. If you need me time, take me time. You don't need to explain that to anybody.
There's a real challenge when it comes to the single parent. Okay, you have a mother with maybe 5 children, no support from the fathers. Would you like to shed some light on that? How we be able to support our single parents? Because it's very difficult to get me time when you have to constantly give to help these children.
And that is true. In situations like that, I suggest as extracurriculars. So in the period of time where your child may be at lessons or maybe at the gym or they're interested in swimming, that may be a 2-hour gap you could take to let me go and get my nails done. Let me go do my hair. Let me have something nice to eat by myself. Because you know sometimes the children, mommy, I have 2 nephews and you know, so in the little period of time that they may be involved in their activity, you take the time. It may be 2 hours, it may be half an hour, but you make the time with.
I have one more question. This is really great, and we have a lot of people here who are representing different communities, different areas that we're working. I only met one person, but how can we be able to get more resources, be able to meet more of the people, maybe make a list of everybody who's here, numbers, emails, so we can keep in touch with each other and don't just have to meet when we come together again for a network like this. Can you work something out like that?
Yes, I don't see why we can't share information. I mean, the people who are here that, if there's someone in particular, when I go to conferences, they always give you the list of the participants at the end so that you can keep in touch with them. So that's a very good idea. Because really and truly what we want to do as well is build up the capacity in Tobago, you know, and because we're not here all the time. And through Mrs. Alexander, who is the contact person here, you know, you don't have to wait 3 more months for us to come back and do another workshop. You know, if someone wants to take the lead on that, they can have, you know, a few people, cottage meetings, you know, people come around and share with each other. And that helps too to change the attitudes in the communities too. So maybe something could be done in your community, you know, in community center or at your church or something, where someone from here, like Mrs. Peters or one of the principals, could come and talk to the community about disability and Down syndrome and so on, so that we share information, and that helps.
Thank you. Question?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. With your last statement, allow students or children to express themselves. In doing so, where do you draw the line where the children may, you know, become violent? Okay. And, excuse me, it may be a traumatic experience for the other children. And so they may learn that type of behavior. So how do you deal with that? How do you draw the line in allowing them to express themselves? Yes, their feelings and so, but what, you know, where does it end?
Reinforcement. At the end of the day, if you don't set boundaries, you will not be able to know what is appropriate and what is inappropriate. So in a situation like that, I would say also give an avenue to express. Sometimes, like you said, it may be violent. You put them in an avenue or a place where they are able to become that aggressive without being a harm to themselves or anybody else. So if you can find an avenue where maybe kickboxing, depending on age, you know, those kinds of things to get them to release that extra energy so that when they are expressing themselves, that extra energy does not have to come in there.
Questions? Hi, good morning, everyone. I was quite excited when I heard that there was this segment about mental health, right? Because I have a little, but I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. I was diagnosed with panic attacks, and yes, I believe I was suffering with that since I was at school, because I remember, I don't know if any one of you would have experienced it, cannot answer questions, you will have the answers to questions, and you cannot put up your hand for fear that you may be wrong, or the children will laugh at you and stuff like that. And sort of kept me back from really, because you know, the more you speak and explain yourself in the classroom, the more it enhances your learning and all of that. And that really crippled me for quite a while, right? Till I'm now an adult, and I realized that even at church and so forth, that I would be called upon to do testimonies and so forth, and I cannot stand up and express myself, and I would have so much to say, but just this fear, this, well, your heart started racing, you're sweating, heart palpitations, and just they all kind of mind, oh gosh, I wonder if I'm saying the right thing, I wonder if my grammar is correct, and all these things. And I got help. I went, I know this mental health thing is a really taboo thing, right? And I went to the psychologist, and it really, really helped. At one time, I even had to be put on medication, right? Because I was really being anxious, social phobia, right? And it really helped me because here I, standing now, speaking to all of you, right? Yes, and that was part of the reason why I went into special education too. Right, because I know that this is happening to children in the classroom, right? Many of them are really being kept back and not really tapping into their full potential because of this fear, right? Of speaking out and so forth. So I just want to ask you, what is the unit, the mental health unit, doing for these children in the classroom who are suffering with this social phobia, panic attacks?
I know the Ministry of Education is currently trying to get a guidance counselor available in every school so that children have the avenue that in the school, within the school, if they cannot speak to somebody home, they can speak to somebody in school. Usually though, however, most times you don't have a guidance counselor in school. In a case where you don't have a guidance counselor in school, you can be that bridge for your child. You can be that bridge for yourself. Sometimes it's okay to say, I need help. And I think that's the thing with adults sometimes, that we are hard on ourselves. We don't like to admit that we need help with something, especially when it comes to mental health in terms of, I need to go see a psychologist. You know, we look at it as a negative thing versus I need the extra resources to help develop myself so I can be okay for me, right? So in schools, if there is not that avenue, I do suggest that you tap into whatever resources that you may have that you can offer your child, whatever social support that you have as well. Tap into those and create a structure or a family where you can feel safe and also your child can feel safe. And don't be afraid to get help, ever. It's something that we all need at any given time, whether it may be financial, emotional, spiritual. We all need help at any level. Don't ever be afraid, or don't let anybody make you feel less than for admitting that you need help. Remember, knowing your limitations is only gonna make you greater. Right? Once you know, listen, I need help here. When you get that help, you are now building yourself to reach where you need to be.
Stephanie, is there anything in Tobago specifically for kids with regards to the area of psychology through the RHA?
The Child and Adolescent Center is an excellent and unique resource here in Tobago. It's a multidisciplinary team that Dr. Crooks, who is a psychiatrist here in Tobago, was fundamental in helping set up. There are probably others in the room that could have more information about it than I do, but there is a social worker there, child psychologist, speech language therapist, and they all work together with the family in giving a multidisciplinary approach to support a child's mental health and behavioral development. So
perhaps after you could talk to Ms. about that, so she can have the information in case you need to refer anything.
And as far as I understand, they do take walk-ins at the Child and Adolescent Center. If you get a doctor's referral there, it shouldn't be to speech therapists directly or whatever. It should be to the Child and Adolescent Center, and there you'll get a multidisciplinary assessment and intake, and they'll guide you to the appropriate resources. And that's by the old fort, opposite the old hospital in Scarborough. And that's open to the community.
Thank you so much, Shaynelle. Can we give her a round of applause, please?